One Piece chapter 1163 is here. This chapter was so extraordinary. Till the end. We'll talk about it. I loved so much that happened here. First of all, Imu taking over Saturn. I love the visuals around it. We can basically see the darkness or the shadows or the void of Imu wrapping itself over Saturn. We can see the movement, how it even seems conscious itself. Like you can see the tendrils pulling up and getting ready to circle around the claw. Like it's already taken shape and now it's completely consuming. I really like the visuals of this. I also find it really fascinating that Imu doesn't seem beholden to just one kind of entering into the scene, right? Like we know that Imu can possess Gunko, and that seemed like enough, frankly, but it was still limited. And here we see that now Imu can, I don't know, come out of the back of Saturn, because Saturn's still there, but Imu is not only taking over, like putting himself over Saturn like a cloak, but he's also rising up in his own form over Saturn, which is interesting because then everyone around them thinks that this is Saturn. They're looking at Imu and thinking they're seeing Saturn in some extra demonic form, some extra crazy form. So really tons of people in this chapter have beheld Imu, the one that no one is supposed to know. Like we know that Roger, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido all go on to live for a long time after this, having seen Imu, but to them, they may very well think that they saw Saturn. Just Saturn in an extra evil form, not the one sitting on the empty throne that they don't even know actually exists. In their mind, that's probably why they were left to live and to continue to sail the seas. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I do really love the detail of all these pirates seeing this horrible, shadowy figure coming out of one of the elders, and they're just like, okay, so we're gonna run. Super sorry to any crew members that get caught up in this. That's a bumski for you. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna grab whatever treasure is near me and I'm going to get, because it's just very pirate, you know, it just feels right that they would grab a hold of a couple of chests of treasure and then go. I'm just making note of the strange dialogue here for one of, I don't even know who this is, but someone who got punctured, got wounded, and says, "Ow, it hurts, but it's so fascinating." What? Why? Because does getting stabbed by Saturn's poison or by Imu's powers, does it give you some sort of revelation to where you're like, oh shucks, I'm dying, but also now I've seen the world. Anyway, lots of chaos. Roger's shouting orders. Garp is demanding answers, grabbing a hold of people who were there before him and demanding, what is going on here? What is that monster? I do love that when the Navy guy that he's grabbed, he's like, I don't know, Saturn just turned weird. It's confusing to me too. And Garp just starts insulting them. He's just like, yeah, seems about right for the freak who'd sit atop those maggots. Garp is so Luffy in this chapter, where it doesn't matter who has the power, it doesn't matter if it's someone even directly above him in the company that he's serving, he still is just going to insult those that he feels deserve being insulted. You guys suck. I'm just gonna say it. It doesn't matter if that's slander. And everybody around him is like, don't do that. And he's just like, why? Why not? Also super interesting that Imu actually calls Roger Davy, no, that's not his name, Rox Davy Jones. And Rox is just like, that ain't me. What is that? Is it that Rox is so like Davy Jones himself that Imu looks at him and sees the bearer of his will? Or is it that somehow Rox actually is Davy Jones and he's just like, couldn't be me? I assume it's the first one, But I need answers for that too. There's so many little things like this littered all throughout the chapter that I'm just like, what is that? What does that imply? What's coming from this? Speaking of which, however, promises are meant to be kept. And then Emu says, which is exactly why thy kind must be erased from history. I still don't understand why thy kind must be erased from history, but he goes on to say, my world is still incomplete. And then Roger says, it ain't your world. His name is Rocks. It ain't your world. So what's confusing, not confusing, the way I'm interpreting it today, which may change next week, the way I'm interpreting it today is that Emu believes that the world isn't right, or isn't in its correct order, isn't complete, until all those that would dare to resist him, all those that would dare not to submit, are wiped out. Until they're all gone, the world is not complete. I need complete dominion. I need total control, which is why you must go, because of the promise I made, or what was promised to me, which is the world. That might be why Emu says, or why, it was Rocks. That might be why Rocks, when everybody's looking at Emu when he first started sprouting from Saturn, and everyone's like, what is that? And Rocks goes, the world. It might be why Emu is considered the world, because for Emu, the ultimate plan is total control over the world, which is really what drives every decision that's been made up to this point, to include the God Valley incident, to include this manhunt that's currently happening on God Valley, why this was chosen to be the place that's hosted, because one of the clans of people that is resisting him must be snuffed out, because the world isn't complete until they're all gone. There is a misunderstanding throughout this entire chapter. The more I'm rereading this chapter, the more reinforced I feel that the reason everyone was allowed to live after seeing Emu, and by everyone I mean, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, all them, Garp. The reason they were all allowed to live is because they all misunderstood. Because all throughout this chapter, you have characters, unnamed characters, saying, why is Rocks fighting Saturn? Or, I don't know what's going on with Saturn, this is weird. Everybody's reacting according to Saturn. We're looking at Emu, and you and I know it's Emu, because we've read the other chapters, but these characters haven't read the other chapters, and so for all they know, Saturn is looking extra weird today. So I think that's why they were allowed to live, because of the misunderstanding. The secret isn't actually out. I love that they're like, should we offer help? And the answer is, of course we're helping. Wait, helping which side? Because Garp is such a wild card. Because we already know he doesn't respect those that he's meant to be defending right now, and ultimately will defend. We know from the flashback, the other flashback, the flashback before this flashback, way back when was that? I don't remember when it was. I think it was Buddha that said, the one with the Buddha fruit. I'm pretty sure he was the one that was telling us that Garp is pretty sickened about what happens here, because he ended up defending the Celestial Dragons, and his own moral code is that he doesn't defend the Celestial Dragons because he hates them. Anyway, so this is clearly well known about Garp, because he's walking around insulting them. And so when Garp starts charging forward, they're all like, okay, so we supply backup for the Admiral, but who's he fighting for? Is he gonna help one of the four elders, or is he against him? We're actually not sure what Garp is fighting for. He seems to, again, he has very big Luffy vibes in this chapter. He seems to be fighting for his own judgment on morality. Yes, he's within the naval system, and yes, he serves under those maggots that he despises, but he seems to look at the world and determine for himself who needs punched, and then goes in there and does the punching. Still so much more for Oda to clear up about Garp, to further nuance and explain, but with each chapter, I feel his character is coming more and more into focus. Dragon continuing to race through all the chaos to try to protect the child. If he can just protect the child, then It'll all be okay. Captain John is here using the magnet fruit, using kids' devil fruit to get all the treasure. Listen, at least within my people on my Patreon where we stream, they were all so hard on Captain John in this chapter, but I just want you to know that I love him, and it's probably because of his association to Buggy, or rather Buggy's association to him, but I'm on his team. And all these pirates, it's satisfying to me. Like, I think it's funny. All these pirates saying, oh no, some sort of demonic stuff is going on here. I don't like it. I'm just gonna leave. Let me grab some treasure and go. Very pirate-esque. And then Captain John, the piratesty of pirates, is like, no, I'm going to take all the treasure. It's all mine, and just brings it all to him. This is a massive load of treasure. What does he say? There it is. Each of those chests is worth at least 1 billion berries. You see how many chests are around him just now? That's a massive haul. I'm proud of him. He's doing great. Until Mr. Five's devil fruit comes into play. And I don't really want to talk about this because this devil fruit is formidable. I just want to throw that out there. This devil fruit is formidable. It could be really cool. I mean, Captain John is doing great. He's collecting all the treasure for himself. He clearly is a legend. He clearly has special, like, something good. Buggy's smart. He knows. He understands. So clearly Captain John is doing great. And then someone throws a bomb at him. It's not his fault. Anyone, except everyone in the One Piece world, would go down, would be one-shotted by a literal bomb. Now, I don't know why we have to make it a booger again. Make it anything else, Oda. When you're fighting against characters that I like, make it anything else. It doesn't have to be a booger every time. It's fine. I just think that we could have come up with something else to not make everyone laugh at my boy Captain John. Anyway, we still have, so now the Navy has realized, they've realized that Garp is not going to, that he is going to fight the void creature looming out of Saturn, or from their perspective, Saturn having a bad hair day. So they're all grabbing a hold of him, trying to pull him back. They're like, stop! This is the supreme authority of the government. Speaking of Saturn. And Garp's like, that vermin? Like, all he knows is, that's a bug, I gotta squash it. Not literally, he just looks, he's very Luffy, looks at Emu and says, that thing needs to be punched. I don't know what it is. I don't understand what's happening. I just know, bad. Let me handle it. Just the same, you've got Rocks defending his family. You've got Whitebeard defending Rocks because he sees honor in him. Roger, I'm not sure why Roger's still fighting, actually, at this point. Big Mom and Kaido have well, actually, Kaido is fighting because he got a new devil fruit, and he just, hey guys, let me join too. Like, I love young Kaido. And then Mom is there because she has a grudge. You ate the devil fruit that was for my kid. How could you? So we have this amazing lineup of powerhouses, and still the Kaido Big Mom back and forth is so funny. She's furious, and Kaido's just being a little kid about it. He's just like, oh, you jealous? Check this out. Watch what I can do. Everyone is running from different angles with different motivations, and then you turn the page, and it's the best full page spread we've had in so long. And we've had some good ones, but oh my goodness, everybody coming from different directions with different motivations. Everybody's blasting at this giant figure. It's so bright from all the impact. Everyone's shouting their special attacks, except for Dragon, except for Kaido, who just got his devil fruit, and he doesn't have any names yet, so he's just like, Dragon! It makes me so happy. I love young Kaido. I love this spread. All these incredible characters that we've been following for so long, that we have so much history behind, and that we know how powerful they are. Some of them in their prime, others not quite to their prime just yet. fighting against this one force. Oh, it looks incredible. I want it on my wall. It looks amazing. And it doesn't work. The fact that we see all of them at once fighting against Emu and he just regenerates again. It really, I don't think this downscales anybody. We know how powerful they are. Them not being able to fight, them not being able to defeat the immortal creature doesn't suddenly make them weaker. What it does is it shows how much it's going to take to actually get through to Emu, to actually land the impact that we need in order to stop him. Well, I guess it doesn't show us how much we need. It just shows us that what should be enough still isn't enough, which means Oda has to come up with something really good. It can't just be because Luffy has the Joy Boy fruit, has the Nika fruit, he can do it, because lightness defeats darkness. It might just be, one of my patrons said this isn't an original thought, it might just be that it's going to take everyone coming together, the world against the world, because 6 powerhouses still isn't enough, which is crazy. Also, Zeus is here. Zeus is on our side now. Zeus has seen Emu. So is Zeus going to be able to identify, oh, I've seen that before. I know that guy. Or, I mean, we don't know who Emu is. I know that being. Hey, Nami, we should talk about this. And then you turn the page and it's still so good. You have Emu who's disintegrating from all the impact, and all the power coming off of it. You've got, I love the slanted paneling, which isn't new, I know, but it just looks so cool. That last page was so bright. This one is so dark. Everyone's passing out from the power that's emanating from it all. It's so good. And then you cut to Dragon hugging a log, still trying to protect the child, and Shanks crawls into a treasure chest. So that's how Shanks got there, which is hilarious to me, but also really sad, because once Dragon realizes, I lost the other kid, it's not like he had 2 kids and he's like, I'm going to save these 2. I can't do much around me just now, but I can save these 2. And then he loses one. And then he's like, okay, the only way for me to, I don't remember the exact wording he used, but the only way for me to get redemption in this horrible, horrible thing is for me to protect one child. I just got to protect this one child. Well, he's now lost that child. So when he realizes this is broken log, and he can't find Shanks because Shanks is shut up in a treasure chest, I wonder if that's why he goes on to start the Revolutionary Army, because he still feels that he has to do something. He still feels like, okay, I couldn't save anyone. I was useless. I did nothing in the face of this slaughter. So I have to do something. I have to start something new. There's got to be some way that I can save the kids. I couldn't save those 2 kids. They're probably gone. Eventually he might realize that Shanks is, survived. But at least in the moment when he first lost Shanks and thought that now he was unable to save both of the children, I wonder if he then says, I couldn't save those kids. There's got to be some way that I can save the kids from this evil, evil world. And that's what begins him setting forth to start the Revolutionary Army. Back to me loving the Kaido and Big Mom dynamic. They're still bickering. They've just hit Emu. I guess they maybe thought that they had taken him down. Kaido and Big Mom are just shouting at each other. Kaido's like, I can't spit out what I've already eaten. Big Mom says, give me money then. She's just like, you took what I was rightfully going to steal, so give me something. Garp and Roger are arguing over who gets the most credit in what just happened, which I also love. And Rox is really the only one that's standing there and knows, at least to some extent, what they're actually facing, and is just kind of waiting for what comes next. And what comes next is Emu deciding, I still have New Davies to kill. So he decides that Rox is going to be the one to kill his own wife and child. And that's where we get the Domi Reversi. Now, he already did this. He already turned the other members of the Davy clan. He already switched them earlier, a couple of chapters ago, I think. And they were chasing down rocks. So it was already the Davies trying to wipe out the Davies. So clearly this is just some kind of sick thrill that Emu gets. Not just that he is so powerful and he wants to wipe out entire groups of people, but that he seems to delight in watching groups of people kill their own, which is just like another layer of sickness. So he had the other members of the Davy clan chasing after rocks, and now he sees, oh, there's 2 more off in the distance. Rocks, go kill them. Like, he still is doing that. Now, my patrons mentioned that there's a theory floating around that only on your homeland does the Domi Reversi work. We had giants on Elbaf that were turned, and now we have the Davy clan that's being turned. That's at least some parameter on this power that just feels too big. It feels too strong. It feels too easy to apply. If Emu can just show up whenever, wherever, however, and then just reverse whomever, I don't know. It takes away a lot of the intrigue of characters that are so nuanced and complex and not necessarily good or evil, but just like messy, and their morals and their motivations and who they're willing to fight with at any given moment depending on the circumstances around them. You know, like Rox and Garp and Harold and so many characters have had these really complex character moments in this flashback. All of these characters take a lot of wrestling with to kind of figure out how do I process them mentally, because there's so much going on here and nobody is strictly good. Everyone has like their complicated levels of morality. And so like what would motivate them to fight alongside each other or against each other? And then you just kind of unravel all that complexity by saying, zap, you're evil now. It's not narratively interesting to me. It feels too big, too powerful, and too easy, and it steals from all the fascinating character dynamics, all the world intrigue, all the things that are built into this story. It's a disappointing narrative plot beat for me. Now, even though I'm not a fan of this at all. Even though I'm not a fan of this, I will still engage with it in good faith. Oda can still do stuff with it that will be interesting, even though just as a rule, I don't like this. I will still engage with it honestly. He might prove to me that he has a plan really different from what I have in my mind, and it'll be great. It's unsurprising, I'll say this. I mean, Oda built it up. You know, the Domi Reversi has been built up very strongly in Elbaf and with Harold, and now here. It's something that a lot of us saw coming. It's something that I kept trying to pretend might not be coming because I so didn't want it, but it's here. So it is what it is. I'm not a fan, but we'll see where Oda goes with it from here. We know Blackbeard is making it off this island, so I am curious if both Blackbeard and his mom do, or if it's just him. More than likely it's just him, and how. I mean, is it possible that I don't remember mom's name, Blackbeard's mom, is it possible that she gets killed by Rox and then Dragon picks up this baby? Is it possible that Rox has such a strong will that he's able to fight against this programming, Kuma-esque, and he's the one that saves his son before eventually it overtaking him totally? Despite not liking this plot beat though, I have loved this chapter and I have loved this flashback. So, what comes next? Please chat with me more in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts. How are you feeling about everything up to this point? I'll see you again soon. Bye.